Hi, my name is Andrew Whitus, and I'm the Director of Financial Operations and a strategist at OhioNet. And I'm glad you could join me today to learn a little bit more about one of our new consulting services, Trend Exploration. So, again, a little bit about our team. If you've attended other information sessions, it's maybe a little repetitive, but it's always good to, again, get to know us. So, Michelle Bradley is the Director of Consulting Services at OhioNet. And if you have inquired about what we can do to work with your library on strategic planning or one of our other consulting lines, you've probably talked to Michelle. Nancy Kirkpatrick is our Executive Director and CEO, and she's also a strategist within the consulting practice, myself, and then Heather Ladisky is our project manager. So at OhioNet, are using again the concept of unlimited possibilities when we talk about consulting, and we're looking to upend traditional consulting practice. So by that we mean we are acting as your partner. We are investing in your success. We want to make sure that when we're working with you and we're done, you're satisfied and we've met what your objectives were for hiring us. We use inclusive practices rather than a top-down approach, and by that we mean we are grounded in appreciative inquiry and a lot of the work that we do, and we also are using human-centered design. So that makes sure that the voices from everyone within your organization and your community can be included in whatever type of work we're doing with you. We are focusing on possibilities rather than problems. Again, this is coming from appreciative inquiry where we're looking at coming from a lens of abundance and not scarcity. And then finally, we are providing post-project support to, again, ensure that your project is successful. So some more things that set us apart is, we're a team of consultants and we know libraries because we're librarians. We've all worked in libraries in a variety of capacities over the years. And not only are we just librarians, three of us were also library leaders, library directors. Michelle, primarily working in public library space, and then Nancy and I working with as academic library directors. And in addition to that, besides having an understanding of libraries and library administration and the challenges of working in both public and academic settings, we also bring with us additional context from our own previous work life experiences as well as academic credentials. So ranging from legal to marketing to accounting to knowledge management to public administration, there's all other aspects of work of knowledge that we bring with us when we're working with our clients. Today, though, I'm going to talk about trend exploration. Again, we're looking at trends a little bit differently at OhioNet when we're working with our clients. And what we're really trying to do is help our clients understand what's going on out in the world, what people are experiencing, and perhaps how that might lead to, in a meaningful way, to be applied as a new program or offering within the library to your community. So trend, again, very basically, it's something new. Again, it could be based on a human need, want, or desire, but it's some new innovation, some new attitude, some new thing that's out there. And we are using Trendwatching's purpose-driven innovation methodology and also a lot of their trend exploration and trend watching data set to work with clients. So trend watching looks at trends from these three elements: basic need, drivers of change, and innovation. So again, basic need is what it sounds like. So most people are familiar with Maslow's hierarchy. At the very basic, you need safety and you need food, but then you move kind of up the pyramid. So when we're looking at trends, we're up the pyramid, but we're looking at, again, people are looking for a sense of belonging. They're looking for a way to make a positive impact. They're looking for how to improve themselves. They're looking to be understood. So there's some aspect of a human need as part of trend exploration. And then we're looking at drivers of change. And again, trend watching kind of looks at two different drivers of change. They look at shifts, which they referred to as macro changes. These are very long-term changes that occur over years, if not decades. And examples of that could be, again, aging population, which we're experiencing in the United States, as many other developed countries are, or climate change, which again is a global thing that's happening. These are very, again, big changes that are happening. We're all experiencing it, and it's making it's causing an impact on how people interact and also how they live their lives. Then there's also these triggers, and these are more short term but can be very dramatic and have some kind of immediate effect. And it could be driven by a specific technology or some kind of political event or incident or even a pandemic. So again, examples, COVID-19. COVID-19 brought out a lot of different changes about how people want to relate to not only each other, but how they want to relate to organizations and how perhaps we use technology to do that. Another example would be George Floyd's death, also as a driver for many organizations as to how they wanted to improve themselves and actually, understand how to be better serving everybody. So those are just some examples of drivers of change. Innovation is the third leg of that stool. And again, this is where you have, again, organizations, people, whatever, are developing new ideas, methods, products, and in relationship to those drivers of change relating to some kind of, again, human need. And when we're doing trend exploration, we're actually focusing on four things, or we're looking at four things specifically that might impact your organization. And it could be how trends are perhaps changing your vision, your operations, the services you provide, or how you communicate with your community. So again, we're using Trendwatching's methodology and their framework. They organize their trends in the megatrend framework, which is basically 15 very large concepts that are big. They're slow moving, meaning they're not going to be changing very quickly. They're going to be there for a while, and they can be applied almost universally, again, to any kind of global region, to any industry, and to any demographic. So if you've ever explored Trendwatching's website, you might have already seen this because some of their information is fairly accessible. But here are the top 15 mega trends within their framework. And working with past clients, some that have bubbled to the top for libraries are For You, curation that empowers your community's uniqueness; Joining, which is finding meaningful connections in a lonely world; and State of Place, where people are looking to reclaim their locale. It could be, once we work with your organization, you may find that there's a different megatrend that resonates with your librarians and staff based on your community. But those are just some examples of the top three that have resonated with other libraries so far with the work we've done. Underneath the 15 megatrends, there are over 200 subtrends. And as you can kind of see on this slide, the megatrend, these subtrends can actually apply to multiple megatrends and macro trends. So this is M2P, which means the mentor to protege economy, is an example of subtrend that Trendwatching has identified and is tracking. And basically what this is that it's, professional people are hungering for a way to share their knowledge and experience, or basically mentor other people. And there are now a variety of technology ways that have made it possible to make that happen, not only in your local community, but for people to actually mentor others in a more, again, global environment. As long as people have access to a technology, they are able to share with others. So again, this is just an example that, again, might come up when would be working with a client. So you might say, okay, Andrew, so how does this really work for our library? So we probably start out with an awareness activity. And again, this would introduce the macro, mega, and subtrends, some of the subtrends, to your staff, and they would be able to basically, kind of get an understanding for, how these are organized and how they're interrelated. And we would do that, by doing a presentation with some kind of, again, examples of innovations, and perhaps having your staff discuss, what that might be mean for your community. From there, we probably lead into prioritization activity because, again, there are 15 megatrends and over 200 subtrends, and even and within some of these subtrends, there are actually also things called niches, which are related to certain industries. And you can't necessarily look at all of them, and they don't all necessarily make sense for your organization and your community. So what we would do is use the trend radar, which is a tool developed by Trendwatching as part of purpose-driven innovation, and we would pair that with human-centered design to help your staff prioritize the trends that they believe matter the most to your library. And again, we're going to be focusing on specifically these areas of innovation: vision, operations, services, and communication. It may be that while doing this, all of the trends are focused more on services and communications. That's fine, because every organization is going to be different. It just depends on your need and how you approach this process. After that, we'd probably go into an ideation stage where we would try to, again, move from these trends and the concepts that have been identified by Trendwatching to actually developing some kind of local innovation, so applying it at a local level. So we would use the Trend Canvas. Again, this is a tool designed by Trendwatching as part of purpose-driven innovation, and couple that with human-centered design to help your staff analyze those maybe 2 or 3, 4 trends that bubbled up on the trend radar that matter most to your library, and then from that help them generate innovations that could lead to new services, new programs, new ways to communicate to your community. And again, we could do this for the entire community served by your library, or we could actually maybe be focusing on just a certain segment. So working with the public library, perhaps we're only looking at teens and young adults. I mean, we can do whatever makes the most sense for your organization based on your needs of that time. So that was a really quick overview. Hopefully, again, you kind of got an idea of how it might be applied at your library. But just again, reminding you about our services. They are fee-based. They're scalable. So trend exploration can be part of a much larger strategic planning process. We've actually done that with a client at OhioNet, or it could be a standalone where we can come in and, again, maybe you've already done strategic planning, or you have a modified strategic plan and you're looking for perhaps some of those goals, developing some goals or some objectives, and you're looking perhaps for some ideas for what new programs might be. This would be a way to perhaps, again, identify some of those is by doing a trend exploration, prioritization, and ideation. We can do this virtually or in person. Most of the work we're doing now with customers, we're doing in person, but we also can deliver our work virtually, and we have done it in the past using Zoom and can continue to do so going forward based on your needs. And we're available now. So all you have to do is contact us, and we can schedule a time to talk about your needs, and we can actually probably come into your library rather quickly to work with you as necessary. So briefly, just want to do a plug. We're halfway through this year. We are doing 6 of these information sessions this year. In August, Michelle will talk about igniting workplace connections. I'll be back in October to talk about appreciative survey design, which is related back to program evaluation, which I did back in February. And then finally, closing out the year in December, Michelle will talk about workplace well-being, what we're currently doing, and we've got some really exciting things that we're going to be launching in 24 and into 25. So definitely you want to make sure you do attend that one, or at least register and get the video to be able to review it later. If you're interested in any of our consulting services, so again, we're doing strategic planning, all the things that you saw on that slide, conversations worth having, program evaluation, trend exploration, igniting workplace connections. If you're interested in any of these, you can go to the OhioNet website and click on services and then consulting services, and you can get some high-level information about what these are. But there's also the form where you can actually click the link, request information, and price quote. You'll get a form where you can provide some information about yourself and what you're looking for, and we will get back in touch with you to arrange a time to get a little bit more further information or clarification, and then we can actually develop an actual proposal for you with a price quote for you to review, and hopefully we can work